This guide is going to take you step by step to walk you through equipment in Monster Hunter World's Iceborne expansion. It will start from character creation and end once you've unlocked the final monsters in the guiding lands. If you're starting from a well-established existing character, you can use the timestamps below to jump right into the start of Iceborne with Master Rank, which is available after completing the main story in the base game of Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter is a pack rat's game. You'll want to hoard every single upgrade material that you can get. Every time you see a bone pile or a mining node, you'll want to gather everything to add it to your stockpile. And upgrade material may not seem overly useful in the short term, but if you're diligent in gathering whatever you come across, you will reduce the amount of time you'll need to farm if it turns out that you do actually need it. The new Defender line of weapons makes low and high rank easy with their strong raw damage, very good sharpness, and blast element for even more damage. These weapons are all you should consider for most weapon types pre-Iceborne content. Any exceptions will be included in this guide on a case-by-case basis. The Defender line will last you from low rank through high rank until Master rank when new superior options become available. Once you've entered Master rank, many of the suggestions can be built outright using exclusively Master rank parts, but some do require you to go back to low or high rank to farm materials. If you have a large stockpile of monster parts from playing Monster Hunter World, it will be easy for you to craft most of the weapons outright. If you're starting fresh from a new character, it's usually easier to progress through low and high rank into Master rank, and then come back to farm these easier low and high rank monsters once you have superior Master rank gear. This is simply for grinding efficiency. It will make farming these monster parts significantly faster and easier. This guide will provide weapon, armor, specialized tool, and charm suggestions for yourself, and weapon, armor, and gadget suggestions for your Palico. These are merely suggestions based on what I feel works well with the chosen weapon types. You should personally experiment and see what armor skills you like on each individual weapon, and make some customizations yourself. Greatsword has a few playstyles and they want some unique skills. The main styles are a draw attack style, where you run around waiting for openings, and when you have one, you perform a draw attack, then you immediately sheath your weapon again, and repeat the process. The second is the true charge style, where you will wait for large openings and use the shoulder tackle to bridge to the true charge slash. Realistically, you should be incorporating both styles into your greatsword play. The main skill for all greatsword styles is focus. Focus reduces the amount of time it takes to charge your greatsword. This is a fundamental skill, as the majority of your damage comes from charged attacks. Level 3 focus will give you more opportunities to get charged attacks off on monsters because of the shorter timing window. Focus will be a fundamental aspect of all greatsword builds. Greatsword will also benefit from skills like earplugs more than other weapons, as you can capitalize on monsters' roars. With earplugs, you won't get interrupted while doing a draw charge or true charge if a monster roars while you're charging. Earplugs is best incorporated at level 5, making it difficult to incorporate at the early stages of the game. This is a heavy skill investment, and you will need to sacrifice skills to accommodate max level earplugs. For draw attack styles, there are several skills that you will want to incorporate. The main skill to be considered should be critical draw. Critical draw adds a flat amount of affinity to your draw attacks, up to 100%. This means if you have a weapon that has neutral or positive affinity, your draw attacks will always critical hit with level 3 critical draw. However, if you're using a weapon with negative affinity, such as Tigrex's with negative 20%, you'll have to do some basic math. 100% from critical draw minus 20% from the Tigrex weapon means you'll only have 80% affinity on your draw attacks. If you're using a weapon with negative affinity, you can choose to incorporate critical eye or weakness exploit to get back to that 100% affinity. When you're running level 3 critical draw or any high affinity build, critical boost has great synergy, as you'll always be getting critical hits, so you'll get a ton of value out of it. Punishing draw is another strong skill. Unfortunately, it's only available as a set bonus on Odogaron's set in high rank and Barioth's set in master rank. If you're using a draw attack focus style, punishing draw is a very nice pickup. It adds damage and a stun effect to your draw attacks, which means you can actually knock out monsters with your greatsword. It is kind of unlikely though. Quick Sheath is actually a pretty reasonable pickup when you're using the draw attack style. It will help reduce your recovery after an attack and get back to running around. When using the true charge style, Maximum Might is actually a reasonable option. Maximum Might has been nerfed, making it significantly less useful than previous versions unless you're using one of two sets, which brings its power back to pre-nerf levels. Despite how it feels when you're running around with your weapon drawn, Greatsword is actually one of the most mobile weapons in the game. You should never be walking around with your sword out. you should run around until you have an opportunity, then do an unsheath attack, and immediately sheath your sword again to repeat the process. Since you're sprinting around constantly, Marathon Runner and Stamina Surge are both okay pickups. I wouldn't go out of my way for either of these skills, but they can be reasonable to incorporate if you have the ability. Greatsword can also guard, but you should only do so in emergencies. Guarding absolutely destroys your weapon's sharpness, and you'll still take chip damage, so only do it if you absolutely have to. If you're starting a new character with the Iceborne expansion installed, you will have access to the Guardian Armor Alpha Plus set at character creation. If you're coming back to a previous character, you can talk to the feline attendant in your room and claim add-on bonuses to get the set for free. If you don't have Iceborne installed, you can still gain access to this set. It's just called the Defender Alpha set instead. Simply head to the armory in Astera and purchase the Defender Armor set for a total of 1500 Zenny. 1500 Zenny is a paltry sum, and you should have enough after your first few required hunts. Purchase this set as soon as possible. The Guardian Armor Alpha Plus and Defender Alpha set are the recommended sets for all of low rank. The armor skills are very defensive in nature, meaning you will have very little difficulty surviving every hunt in low rank. The individual skills are not overly useful for various weapon types, it's more of a general purpose set, but because it is a high rank armor set, its defensive values are so high that it outclasses all your other options in low rank. Equip either the Defender Alpha or Guardian Alpha Plus armor sets and don't worry about armor until we hit high rank. Then you can consider some very optional customization upgrades. You'll start off with an item box full of generic iron weapons. These are fine for getting you started, but you'll want to upgrade very quickly to the new Defender line. Pick your weapon of choice and equip it here. Low rank weapon progression is extremely simple with the new Defender weapons. The priority is to forge a Defender weapon as soon as possible. Start by accepting the assigned quest for Jagras of the Ancient Forest. Once you're in the Ancient Forest, prioritize looking for mining nodes. You'll need a single iron ore. Once you have it, complete the quest by hunting 7 Jagras and then return to Astera. Make sure to carve these Jagras, just in case you ever need their materials. Now head to the blacksmith, select Forge, then Weapons, and finally Greatswords. Choose to forge the Defender Greatsword 1 by using an iron ore and 600 Zenny. Equip this immediately. You won't need to worry about changing your gear for the rest of low and high rank. Simply upgrade this weapon when you're told to in the guide. Now that you're outfitted with an overpowered weapon, continue with your next assigned quests. Complete a Kestodon kerfuffle by hunting 3 male and 5 female Kestodons. Now return to the field team leader and you'll be tasked with hunting a Great Jagras immediately. This should be no problem with your new Guardian Armor and Defender weapon. Once the hunt is complete, return to Astera. Follow your instructions and talk to the citizens of Astera. Then return to the Ancient Forest in Expedition mode. Head to the camp and you'll encounter a Kulu-Yaku. Hunt this immediately in Expedition mode. Your Defender weapon should make short work of it. Kulu-Yaku's Kulu Vambraces have a skill called Pro Transporter. Throughout the course of the game, you'll get a few optional quests where you have to deliver items such as wyvern eggs. Pro Transporter increases your movement speed while carrying these large items. You can forge the Kulu Vambraces and equip them whenever you have to do one of these quests. You should continue to use the Guardian or Defender Vambraces for every other quest. After you return to Astera, talk to the citizens around. You'll get the assigned quest for Urgent Pukei-Pukei Hunt. Accept this quest and hunt Pukei-Pukei. You probably want to bring some antidotes. Pukei-Pukei's equipment offerings are pretty lackluster for you, but you can get some nice upgrades for your Palico. Palicos don't deal a lot of damage, but they are decent at inflicting negative statuses on monsters. Poison is usually what I recommend, but there are a few paralysis options that become available shortly. Paralysis is a nice option if you're using a weapon that deals poison damage. Basically for Palico weapons it kind of comes down to this. Pick a status weapon, because your Palico won't ever be dealing a ton of damage throughout hunts, and you can personally benefit from the status. You can build the Feline Pukei Bow, which will be a damage increase, and give your Palico the ability to poison monsters. This will be a very strong option for your Palico's early game damage output. Forge and equip this if you can build it after your first mandatory hunt with Pukei-Pukei. Most of the armor offerings for Palicos are simply linear armor upgrades as you hunt stronger and stronger monsters. Realistically, your Palico's armor isn't overly impactful. You can upgrade it whenever you see fit, or if you find something that you like the look of. Building one set throughout each of the ranks is usually more than acceptable. If you have any extra materials from Pukei-Pukei, you can go ahead and forge the Feline Pukei Hood and Feline Pukei Mantle and equip them right away. This should be all the Palico gear you need for low rank. Back on track after your hunt, talk to everyone around Astera again, and then accept the best kind of quest. If you want, you can hunt this first Rathian that you see in hopes of getting a Rathian spike. You can use this to build a feline Rathian rapier. This is an extremely minor upgrade to your Palico's damage output compared to the feline Pukei bow, so feel free to skip this. Otherwise, simply continue along with the quest until you find Barioth. Hunt it, and then watch the cutscenes and return to Astera. Now accept the next assigned quest, Sinister Shadows in the Swamp. Here, follow the researcher's tracks until you find Juratotus in the mud pit. Hunt this Juratotus, and then return to Astera. Talk to Astera's citizens, and you'll be given the Ghillie Mantle Specialized tool. You can equip this onto your loadout if you want, but it will only be useful during certain quests, like gathering herbivore eggs. Your Palico has the ability to get a few custom gadgets, but for the purposes of this guide, I'm gonna suggest you just stay with the default Vigor Wasp spray. The Vigor Wasp spray is actually a very strong option for the entirety of the game and requires zero investment on your end, so feel free to stick with it. It's the only Palico gadget that I personally use. Now talk to the citizens of Astera again and accept Flying Sparks Tobi-Kadachi. Hunt Tobi-Kadachi in the Ancient Forest and then return to Astera. Now speak to the Chief Botanist and you'll gain access to the Ancient Tree for growing crafting materials. You'll want to pick materials that you'll use frequently, like honey, and fertilize it to increase your yields. After every quest, the Ancient Tree will generate the items that you've selected. When you're using fertilizer, you'll get a chance of getting a rare material called a Great Hornfly from the Ancient Tree's harvest box. This will likely take you at least a few quests before you finally get one. Once you get a Great Hornfly, you'll gain access to a new weapon option for your Palico. You can forge a Kitty of the Valley Rod using a Great Hornfly. This is a paralysis weapon and a reasonable alternative to the feline Pukei bow or Rathian rapier. Use whichever weapon you prefer at this point. Back on track, accept the quest, the Encroaching Anjanath. Hunt Anjanath in the Ancient Forest. Once you've hunted and carved it, you should have received at least one Anjanath scale. If you're extremely unlucky and did not get one Anjanath scale, you can resort to the optional 4-star quest, One Hell of a Sinus Infection, until you get access to a single Anjanath scale. Once you have one, head to the blacksmith and use it to upgrade your defender weapon to the 2nd tier. Now follow the instructions in Astera and accept the quest for One for the History Books. This is a large set-piece battle and should be completed without very much input from you at all. Afterwards, you'll get some cutscenes and be sent back to Astera. After talking with the commander, you'll be given the Health Booster Specialized tool. This is the first specialized tool that gives you a combat advantage, and as such, you should equip it and use it frequently. Now you'll be tasked with an expedition into the Great Ravine. This will lead you into the 3rd Fleet's research base. Afterwards, go into an expedition into the Coral Highlands. Complete the tasks here, and then return to the research base. You'll be given the Glider Mantle Specialized tool for free here. This can be fun to use, but generally, the Health Booster is a significantly more impactful option while you're hunting monsters. You can use the Glider Mantle if you prefer it. You should also talk to the Elder Melder now, and you'll be given the Defense Charm one for free. You should equip this now, because it was free after all, and you don't have a charm yet. The first set of charms become available here to craft at the blacksmith. You should consider your charm a way to gain a desirable skill that you want to incorporate into your build. There will be several suggestions for charms in high and master rank. For now, just equip the Defense Charm 1 and don't think too much about it. These first few charms aren't overly impactful for most weapon types, and most of the superior ones will become available in high rank. Now talk to everyone in the research base and accept the assigned quest, Ballooning Problems. After hunting Paolumu, return to the research base. When you're ready, talk to the 3rd Fleet Master and descend into the Rotten Vale using the airship. Follow the directions given and you'll eventually have to hunt a Radaban. After the hunt is over, return to the research base. Talk to the 3rd Fleet Master again and choose to descend to the bottom of the Vale. After the cutscene, you'll be given a new assigned quest. Accept Legiana, Embodiment of Elegance. Once you've hunted Legiana, return to the research base. Now descend into the bowels of the Vale. Follow the handler through the Rotten Vale and eventually you'll encounter Odogaron. Hunt it, and then watch the cutscenes. Talk to all of the citizens in Astera. Make absolutely sure to talk to the field team leader, as he will supply you with the Vitality Mantle specialized tool. You only have one specialized tool slot. It's a toss-up whether you will prefer the Vitality Mantle or the Health Booster. Either of these will be a fine combat option. Make your choice, and continue onwards. You'll be tasked with finding a first Wyvernian in the Ancient Forest. Head there now in an expedition. You'll want to head to the very top of the forest to find Rathalos' nest. On the way to the top, you'll encounter the first Wyvernian. You'll be tasked with facing off against Rathalos and then Diablos. Rathalos is here now, so go ahead and take it out. Then return to Astera and accept the next assigned quest, Horned Tyrant Below the Sands, and face off against Diablos. After both of these hunts, you'll return to Astera. Do the rounds, speaking to everyone again. The provision stockpile will now be selling Powercharms and Armorcharms. These provide a flat attack and armor increase just for holding them in your inventory. You'll want to purchase both of these charms as soon as possible. The Powercharm is 36,000 Zenny, and the Armorcharm is 24,000 Zenny. You should prioritize the Powercharm here. If you want, you can do some easy optional quests here to farm Zenny. You can crush Great Jagras over and over and simply sell all the parts until you have enough money to buy them both. Once you have both the Powercharm and Armorcharm, keep them in your inventory for the rest of the game. Now you can continue onwards. Speak to the Handler and accept the final assigned quest for low rank, a colossal task. All you need to focus on in this first part is destroying the magma cores. Zorah Magdaros will repel Nergigante on his own. In the second phase, simply run laps between the cannons, firing them as the AI hunters and your Palico buddy load them up for you. You should win this without much effort at all. Just don't miss too many cannon shots. After this hunt, you'll have completed low rank. You'll be rewarded with a commendation. This gates off the third tier of the Defender weapons. You should upgrade your Defender weapon using this commendation right away. If you want additional Defender weapons, you can get extra commendations by completing the Zorah Magdaros optional quest called Left Quite the Impression. This quest cycles in and out of rotation and is only available for a limited time. You'll have 2 quests before it leaves again. You can also get additional commendations from the optional quest, Gone in a Flash, to hunt Kirin. This is available via the quest chain for the botanists and requires capturing several monsters as you work your way through the quest line. You only need 1 commendation unless you're actively switching weapons. After Zorah Magdaros has been repelled, talk to the citizens of Astera. You'll be given a task to investigate Wildspire Wastes. Here you'll encounter a deceptively strong Pukei-Pukei. This is actually a high rank Pukei-Pukei, and once you've completed the hunt, you'll be promoted and able to tackle high rank content. Just like before in low rank, high rank Pukei-Pukei's gear is not overly useful for yourself, but it's a good choice for your Palico. If you prefer poison to paralysis on your Palico and were awarded with a Pukei-Pukei sack plus from your high rank Pukei-Pukei hunt, you can use it to forge a Feline Pukei Bow Alpha. Then if you have the required materials, you can forge the Feline Pukei Hood Alpha and Feline Pukei Mantle Alpha to get your feline friends situated for high rank. But now, it's time to tackle high rank for real. High rank equipment progression continues to be simple if you choose to keep it simple. For weapons, the Defender line will continue to be your best option in most cases, and the upgrades are all low cost and impactful. Armor sets are much more fluid this time around. The Guardian and Defender armor sets stop being the definitive best option in high rank, but are still strong options if you do not want to grind. If you only want to do the mandatory story content to push into Iceborne as quickly as possible, there is really no reason to hunt extra monsters at this time. Simply stick with the Guardian or Defender armor sets and upgrade them using armor spheres as new upgrade levels become available. These sets are easily strong enough to get you through high rank. I would strongly recommend avoiding any grinding for high rank armor sets and instead focus on gathering materials for charms if you want to spend longer in high rank. I will be providing some options for customized sets for high rank which you can opt to forge. I would strongly advise waiting for these armor upgrades until you've pushed through to Pink Rathian and upgraded the Defender weapon to the next tier, as it will just make farming faster. If you'd like to spend more time in high rank, you'll have several options for alternative armor upgrades. Just be aware that every armor set that you build will become obsolete, as master rank armor is simply better across the board. Spending additional time in high rank to gather materials, consumable items, or do optional quests for extra specialized tools can be worth the time, but they can also be returned to at any time. Coming back with master rank weapons and armor will trivialize any challenge that's present here. High rank introduces alpha and beta versions of armor. These sets differ in that the alpha version has more skills than the beta version, but the beta versions have decoration slots which you can insert decorations for customization. Decorations are randomized and there is no way to know exactly what you'll get outside of a handful of decorations that are guaranteed because they are given to you outright, or are rewards from optional quests. For armor, the short answer is if you have very few or undesirable decorations, forge the alpha version. If you have strong decorations, you'll want to forge the beta version. Some armor pieces have terrible skills on the alpha version, which makes the beta version better across the board, even if you lack desirable skills from decorations. Decorations have various tiers, from level 1 to level 4. You won't see level 4 until master rank, and 1 is easily the most common type of decoration. You should start your high rank adventure by talking to the second fleet master in the smithy. You'll be given a free attack jewel 1. You should insert this into all of your gear setups, as it provides a small but impactful attack boost. The way damage numbers work in Monster Hunter is a little confusing, so +3 attack from the attack boost skill might seem unimpactful if you're using something like a hammer or a greatsword, but that's not the whole story. Most weapons have largely inflated damage numbers and instead have a hidden true raw value which is significantly lower. The 3 attack from this decoration is considered true raw damage, and therefore much stronger than it may appear for many weapon types. Socket this decoration into every one of your sets. Conveniently, you have 2 open level 1 decoration slots in the Guardian and Defender sets, so just place it into one of those pieces. You'll notice immediately in high rank that you'll have no optional quests besides for Pukei-Pukei. To gain access to optional quests, you'll need to use Expedition mode. Once you sight a monster in high rank, you should gain access to a repeatable optional quest to hunt that monster. Your immediate goal, however, will be to investigate tracks for a Rathian subspecies. There is no set way to progress the story here, and you can do this as quickly or as slowly as you choose. You should start by going on an expedition into Wildspire Wastes and entering Area 2. This forested area proved quite lucrative for these Rathian tracks. Try and spot any monsters in Wildspire Waste to gain access to additional optional quests while you're here. Rathian tracks show up in all areas, so feel free to run around all the areas to sight all the various types of monsters. During your Rathian investigation, you should hunt Juratotus in Wildspire Wastes. You can forge the Juryagreaves Alpha for level 2 focus on your foot slot. You'll lose some defensive skills from the Guardian armor, but focus is very nice to have on your greatsword. You can finish out level 3 focus by picking up the Kestodon guards. Just hunt some Kestodons and gather from bone piles in high rank to forge these. Unfortunately at this point there isn't a lot of greatsword specific options otherwise. You can hunt Kulu-Yaku for the Kulu Male Alpha and the Kulu Headpiece Alpha if you want, but otherwise you should just stay with your Guardian set for now and move on. Focus on gathering the Rathian tracks or hunting easy monsters until you've progressed at least 50% of the way to completion. Once you have, return to Astera. Speak to the Chief Ecologist and you'll be given the assigned quest, Tickled Pink. Complete this quest by hunting an Anjanath in Wildspire Wastes. Once you're done, return to Astera and speak to the citizens for various additional requests and optional quests. You can also speak to the Elder Melder and you'll now have the ability to meld decorations. The Elder Melder is usually not worth the time or effort to meld decorations, and you're almost always better off simply completing quests and praying for a decent decoration. However, the Elder Melder can also meld items and monster parts using rare prints you'll get from the weekly limited bounty. You should do your best to complete these limited bounties whenever you can, as they can provide you an assured rare monster material. It's often very convenient to just head to the Elder Melder and use a gold or celestial Wyvernian print to get a rare material you may need without having to farm a monster and just hope for the best. Resume gathering Rathian tracks and hunting monsters until you've completed the investigation. Once you've completed the research level, you should return to Astera. Talk to the citizens of Astera and then accept the assigned quest, Old World Monster in the New World, to hunt Pink Rathian. Once you've finished hunting Pink Rathian, return to Astera for cutscenes. You'll be given a new assignment of an expedition into the Everstream. Pink Rathian gates off the 4th and penultimate upgrade to the Defender weapon. You should get at least 1 Pink Rathian scale plus from your hunt. If you're the most unlucky person in the world and you did not, you can resort to the new optional 7-star quests, Pretty in Pink, or A Cherry Wind Upon the Reefs to hunt additional Pink Rathian. Once you have the required Pink Rathian Scale Plus, upgrade your Defender weapon to the 4th level. If you received a Rathian Spike Plus as a reward or a tail carve from your mandatory Pink Rathian hunt, you can feel free to forge a Feline Rathian Rapier Alpha for your Palico. This is a marginal upgrade over the Feline Pukei Bow Alpha, but you can feel free to take it. After your upgrade, you should head to the Everstream in an expedition. Follow the Admiral around the Elder's Recess and then spot Dodogama, Lavasioth, and Uragan. Now run around the Elder's Recess looking for signs of Nergigante. You'll likely need to return to Astera and then return to the Elder's Recess again to gather enough tracks to unlock the next assigned quest, a Wound and a Thirst. While you're gathering Nergigante tracks, you can forge some optional armor upgrades if you want. This should be considered extremely optional, but if you'd like armor upgrades, you can build a high-rank luxury set. For Greatsword, our goals will be Focus, Punishing Draw, and as much affinity as we can get from skills like Critical Draw, Weakness Exploit, or Critical Eye. Odogaron's 2-piece set bonus is Punishing Draw. This will add some extra oomph to your draw attacks and is easy to incorporate. You should look at forging the Odogaron Male Beta, the Odogaron Vambraces Beta, the Odogaron Coil Alpha, and the Odogaron Greaves Alpha. Wearing 2 pieces of this set will unlock Punishing Draw. Greatsword gets a lot of value out of Punishing Draw, so incorporating 2 pieces is strongly recommended. Next up are Diablos and Black Diablos in Wildspire Wastes. You should prioritize hunting Diablos for the Diablos Helm Beta and Diablos Coil Alpha. These 2 pieces will give you Critical Draw level 3, which will guarantee that every attack will be a critical hit when you're using the Defender Greatsword. You'll also get Bludgeoner from the 2-piece set bonus, which increases your attack power as your weapon's sharpness degrades. This is free and a decent set bonus, so it's a win-win here. Black Diablos has additional focus options for your consideration. The Diablos Nero Helm and Diablos Nero Braces will provide you with level 3 focus, and the set bonus of Bludgeoner. This is a nice focus alternative. Diablos has the materials for a few strong charm options. You can choose to forge the Draw Charm 1 for critical draw, and the Focus Charm 1 for focus. These charms are strong options throughout high and master rank. The Focus Charm should be the priority if you're using the Diablos pieces for critical draw. You should pair the Focus Charm with the Juratoris Greaves for level 3 focus. If you're opting to forego critical draw, you can choose to hunt Rathalos for the Rathalos Male Beta for Weakness Exploit. You can also forge the Greaves Alpha for Weakness Exploit and Jump Master. Now you'll be well equipped to take on the final monsters of high rank. Once you've completed the investigation, return to Astera. Speak to the commander and the handler, and then accept the quest, a wound, and a thirst. After besting Nergigante, you'll be tasked with taking on 3 additional Elder Dragons. You can tackle these Elder Dragons in whatever order that you see fit. You'll have to go through the same process as with Pink Rathian and Nergigante. Start by talking to everyone around Astera. Once you're finished, head to the smithy. Upgrade your Defender weapon to the final tier using 1 Immortal Dragon Scale from Nergigante. Once again, if you're the most unlucky person in the world, you can hunt Nergigante again in the optional 8-star quest, the Eater of Elders, until you get a single Immortal Dragon Scale. Once you do, upgrade your Defender weapon to the final tier. If you're opting to just push through high rank to get to Iceborne's content, you're effectively done with the smithy at this point. The final Elder Dragon sets are strong offerings depending on your weapon type, but it's not worth the time to farm these monsters to build their gear. Instead, you're simply better off pushing into Master rank. With your Defender weapon fully upgraded, it's time to tackle something optional but strongly recommended. You've likely seen Bazel Juice earlier in high rank as he flies in and carpet bombs the area while you're preoccupied with another monster. Bazel Juice does actually have an equipment upgrade that is a bit obtuse to get, as it's neither a weapon or armor. You'll want to hunt Bazel Juice until you get 2 Bazel Juice talons. You can now combine your Powercharm and a Bazel Juice talon to make a Power Talon. This provides an even more powerful attack bonus than the Powercharm. In fact, the Power Talon also stacks with the Powercharm, meaning once you craft the Power Talon, you should purchase a new Powercharm in Astera. All of this also applies to the Armorcharm. Combine your Armorcharm with a Bazel Juice Talon to make an Armor Talon, and then purchase a new Armorcharm from the Astera stockpile. Once you have all 4 charms and talons, say goodbye to those 4 inventory slots for the rest of the game. From here on out, keep these in your inventory at all times. Return to Astera and speak to the field team leader. Now start an expedition in the ancient forest to gather tracks for Datura. Once you've completed the investigation, return to the chief ecologist and then head back to the field team leader. Now accept the quest for Datura, Dragon of Steel, and hunt it in the Elder's Recess. Return to Astera and speak to the huntsman. Now start an expedition in Wildspire Waste to gather tracks for Teostra. Once you've completed the investigation, return to the chief ecologist and then head back to the huntsman. Now accept the quest for Teostra, the Infernal, and hunt it in the Elder's Recess. Teostra holds the upgrade materials for the Draw Charm. You can upgrade it now to level 2, or come back to farm high rank Teostra at a later point with superior gear options. This is a reasonable pickup for Draw style greatsword. Head to the research base and talk to the 3rd Fleet Master. Now go on an expedition into the Rotten Vale. Gather tracks in the Rotten Vale to complete the investigation. If you prefer a paralysis weapon for your Palico, you can hunt a Great Gyros while doing this investigation to get an Omniplegia sack. Then hunt and carve Hornitars in the Rotten Vale for monster broth, and use a Great Hornfly to build a Kitty of the Valley Rod Alpha for your Palico. Once you've gathered enough tracks to complete the investigation, return to Astera to speak to the chief ecologist. Then head to the research base and speak to the 3rd Fleet Master again. Now accept the quest for Hellish Fiend Valhazak and hunt it in the Rotten Vale. If you've gathered enough materials from your mandatory Valhazak hunt, you can upgrade your Focus Charm to level 2. This is always something that you can come back to and is not required currently. Most of the builds in Master Rank will incorporate level 3 focus without the use of your charm, but feel free to consider this an option for you to forge. After beating all 3 of the Elder Dragons, return to Astera. You'll be given a lot of exposition and dialogue. When you regain control, speak to the Handler and accept the quest for Land of Convergence. Here you'll have to hunt the final boss of Monster Hunter World, Xeno'jiiva, in the Everstream. After beating Xeno'jiiva, you'll have finished the main story of the base game, you'll gain the ability to color your armor via armor pigments, and most importantly, equip a second specialized tool. The Health Booster and Vitality Mantle are your recommended specialized tools at this point. These are adequate for general purpose hunting for the rest of the game. There will be additional specialized tools you can unlock by completing additional quests in low and high rank at your convenience. Once you're back in Astera, you'll get several cutscenes and then the credits will roll. Once the credits are over, you'll get a notification to start the Iceborne expansion by talking to the Feisty Fiver at the main gate of Astera. You'll also be given several new optional quests as part of game updates and crossover content. You can do these quests whenever you see fit, but they become available as soon as you've crushed Xeno'jiiva and completed the main story. You'll likely want to do the Teostra questline from the Huntsman to hunt Teostra and Wildspire Wastes in the quest, The Blazing Sun. Then you'll want to complete the follow-up quest, Pandora's Arena. Finally, you'll be awarded the Temporal Mantle after beating Lunastra and Teostra in the final quest in the chain, No Remorse, No Surrender. The Temporal Mantle is extremely powerful and will be a very strong choice as one of your 2 specialized tools, even after it's been significantly nerfed. If you're struggling with No Remorse, No Surrender, you can always come back to this after you have superior Master Rank weapons and armor, which should make it significantly easier. The Witcher crossover event is also worth doing, mostly because if you complete it correctly while keeping the Pukei-Pukei alive, you will be rewarded with another Attack Jewel 1. This is a great pickup for all weapon types. If you're struggling to keep the Pukei-Pukei alive, you can consider coming back with Master Rank gear and trying again. This attack decoration is a very nice pickup for filling level 1 decoration slots when you don't have many decorations, so it's worth picking up. Keeping the Pukei-Pukei alive can be difficult, however, and this is a fairly lengthy quest. Bring life powders and dust of life to heal the Pukei-Pukei, and save your Ignis for when the Jagras show up. You'll be finished high rank at this point. You likely will need to come back at various points to farm for high rank materials to upgrade through the weapon trees for master rank weapons. You can also do the optional quest to gain access to extra specialized tools and Palico gadgets. However, it's more efficient to move into master rank and then come back to do various farming with superior weapons and armor from master rank. For Greatsword, there are a few extra charm options you can consider forging from endgame high rank. Earplugs is a nice skill for Greatsword, but it's very difficult to incorporate without the Earplug Charm 3. You'll need to hunt tempered threat level 2-star monsters or greater for the required Dragon Core ore before you can build this. This means spending quite a bit of extra time in high rank. Forging this Earplug Charm 3 is strongly recommended if you want to incorporate earplugs into your build. It just gives you a ton more build diversity and equipment options. The first level of the Handicraft Charm was technically available after you beat Zora Magdaros, but you can upgrade it to the 3rd level now. You'll need research commission tickets, and these are only available as quest rewards from the very hardest quests in high rank. These include the Sapphire Star's Guidance, to hunt a Tempered Kushala Datura, Tempered Teostra, and Tempered Nergigante. Research commission tickets are also available from the White Winds of the New World. These quests require completing the vast majority of the optional quests in high rank, if not all of them, so it's safe to come back to these charms later. You can also get someone else to post these quests for you if you're playing online to get research commission tickets without being able to post the quest yourself. These charms are strong, but you can always feel free to come back to them later. It's time to move on to Master Rank. Master Rank will be quite a jarring experience if you're starting from a fresh character and flew through low and high rank. You'll be forced to spend a lot of time farming the same monsters multiple times for upgrades to your weapons and armor. Long gone are the days of a single, common upgrade material giving you a dramatic weapon upgrade. The first assignments in Master Rank are all done in Expedition mode, which means you shouldn't have a cart limit and can hunt the required monsters with very low risk of failure. Start Iceborne by talking to the Feisty Fiver by Astera's main gate. Now follow the tracks with the Handler. Now watch the cutscenes and continue onwards. Once you're finally in Hoarfrost Reach, you'll be given the Direwolf Laird armor and the Feline Duffel set for your Palico. These will be automatically equipped to you and your Palico. The Feline Duffel hood and coat for your Palico are free and will be sufficient to get through Master Rank, so that's pretty convenient. You'll then have to hunt Beatotus before gaining access to your new hub, Celiana. Beatotus has reasonable gear and weapon options for several weapon types. You can always return to this later, so for now, just continue on to Celiana. You'll want to talk to everyone around Celiana to get situated. You should prioritize the 2nd Fleet Master to be given an Expert Jewel +4. This provides level 2 critical eye when placed in a new Master Rank exclusive level 4 decoration slot. These level 4 decoration slots are common in many pieces of armor, and this decoration provides 10% affinity, making it appealing for all weapon types. You should incorporate this decoration into every single armor set. If you can build the Bio Helm Beta Plus or the Bio Mail Beta Plus from your required hunt, it is worth picking up. It's a defensive increase over the Guardian or Defender armor, and you can immediately socket in that Expert Jewel +4 into the level 4 decoration slot. Now you'll be required to head back to another expedition into Hoarfrost Reach. Follow the Handler and hit up any gathering points and mining nodes until you hit a wall. A Banbaro will bust through, and you'll never guess what you have to do. Hunt this Banbaro, and you'll complete the assignment. Now, return to Celiana. Same steps as before, talk to everyone in Celiana, and then head off to another expedition into Hoarfrost Reach. Make sure you're stocked up with antidotes before leaving. Follow the Handler and speak to the first Wyvernian. Now continue following the Handler until you find a Viper Tobi Kadachi. Hunt this, and then return to Celiana once you've finished. You can kind of mark this as the true start of Master Rank. Now you won't have freebie hunts from being in Expedition mode. We're back to quests. After various cutscenes, you'll be sent back to Astera. Talk to everyone, but specifically the Elder Melder. You'll be given optional quests for The Great Jagras Returns and Jurya in My Way. Regardless of your current armor situation from high rank, it's time to upgrade. The Great Jagras set works very well as a baseline armor set for all weapon types. Its Master Rank defenses alone make it worth using in this early stage of the game. It's an easy and quick to build set because Great Jagras is a fast and painless hunt. You'll need to hunt Great Jagras multiple times to build this set. After your first completion of the Great Jagras Returns, head back to the Elder Melder and speak with her to be awarded with an Ice Res Jewel +4. Ice resistance isn't the best skill, but there are quite a few new ice monsters in Master Rank. You can choose to socket this into your gear at your discretion. Now continue to hunt Great Jagras until you've built the entire set. I would recommend the full Beta Plus version of the Great Jagras set here. This is simply because level 4 decorations are strong and fairly common. You will gather many from both optional quests and as rewards from completing hunts. If you're coming from an existing character who has spent a lot of time at endgame in Monster Hunter World with a robust decoration roster, you'll have significantly more customization options than a fresh player. If you have rare decorations for focus and critical draw, you should prioritize using them in your sets to reach the skill cap if you won't via your equipment. Having access to these skills and decorations does improve your equipment options. There aren't really any godly decorations for Greatsword besides the standard Blademaster Suite and Protective Polish. Handicraft decorations will be nice for endgame builds if you're interested in going for a maximum damage build, as most of those require level 5 handicraft. This guide is going to assume that you have no decorations and simply use the ones given outright or as quest rewards. You should definitely fill out all of your decoration slots with decorations, regardless of quality. General recommendations for common decorations to use with Greatsword are as follows. For offensive skills, any kind of affinity boosting skill that you can get. Critical Draw, Critical Eye, and Weakness Exploit are all great options. Critical Boost has very strong synergy with high affinity builds and can be incorporated provided you have the sockets for them. Affinity is a much stronger option in Master Rank than Basic Attack, as most weapons have much higher raw damage, meaning critical hits are much more valuable because of that improved scaling. For increasing your damage, you should prioritize Affinity over raw attack, but your attack decorations are still reasonable options. For defensive skills, Health Boost for increased maximum HP independent of food or nutrient buffs is a strong offering. Divine Blessing is also a solid choice for fairly regular damage reduction. Speed Eating is also a strong skill as it allows you to chug Mega Potions very quickly to heal up after a hit and get back into the fight. Finally, Stun Resistance is a reasonable pickup as it can negate the ability to get stunned by a chain of monster attacks. Master Rank monsters are fast, strong, and combo heavy, and incorporating stun resistance and other defensive skills into your build is never a bad idea. Greatsword can actually guard, but you should only ever resort to it when you're in a really bad situation. You should never incorporate guard or guard up into your set. You should look at your decoration list and do your best to incorporate the skills that you want. As a general rule, it's usually better to push towards maxing out a skill rather than having several skills at level 1. Fill your decoration slots with whatever you want or whatever you have available, but make sure that those decoration slots are filled. The great news here is that your Defender Greatsword 5 is going to be your strongest option for quite some time. The bad news is that your Defender Greatsword 5 is going to be your strongest option for quite some time. The first set of early Master Rank weapons are simply not better or worse than the Defender Sword 5, they're just a little different. However, Pukei-Pukei's Datura Hellspine is a reasonable pickup. You will lose some raw damage and sharpness, but you'll gain a level 1 and level 2 socket, making it worthwhile. You'll be trading poison for blast, which is generally positive. With poison, you can give your Palico a paralysis weapon for some extra opportunities for critical draw attacks or true charge slashes. It also upgrades into a very strong greatsword, so you should build it, but you can hold off for now if you prefer the high raw damage of the Defender Greatsword. First things first, talk to the Elder Melder. You should get quests for Bugger Off Bugs and a Queen at Heart. You'll have to hunt Hornitars and Vespoids in the Rotten Vale for Bugger Off Bugs. Once you've completed the quest, you should have received at least one Monster Essence. Combining this with a Great Hornfly and an Ultraplegia sack from your mandatory Viper Tobi-Kadachi hunt, you can forge a Kitty of the Valley Rod Alpha Plus for your Palico. You can stick with Poison for now, but this will be a good pairing with your next weapon. Now return to the Celiana Melder and you'll be rewarded with an Anti-Para Jewel +4 for completing Bugger Off Bugs. After that quest, you should be swimming with both Vespoid and Hornitar parts. You can look at building the Vespoid Greaves Beta Plus to regain some critical draw. Now you can tackle the next Elder Melder quest, a Queen at Heart, to hunt a Rathian. You can build your Palico a Feline Rathian Rapier Alpha Plus if you received a Rathian Surspike after the hunt, but you will be building a poison weapon for yourself shortly. After the hunt, return to the Celiana Melder. You'll receive an Antidote Jewel +4. You should now hunt Pukei-Pukeis to build a Datura Hellspine. As stated previously, you'll take an initial damage hit, but this can be upgraded again, whereas the Defender Greatsword dies out. The sockets do make this quite worth it, and poison is preferable to blast at this point. The Defender Greatsword has served us well, it's time to retire it. Hunt Pukei-Pukeis until you can forge a Datura Hellspine 1. Thankfully, you can forge this with exclusively Master Rank materials. No need to go back and farm other ranks of Pukei-Pukei here. If your Palico is using a poison weapon, it's recommended at this point to switch it to the Kitty of the Valley Rod Alpha Plus. Poisons don't stack, so only one person ever needs a poison weapon while in group situations. With a new weapon, it's a good idea to do some further armor customization. Just like in high rank, Juratotus' offerings are strong for focus. You should complete the Elder Melder's quest for Juria in My Way to be rewarded with your Mirewalker Jewel +4. Then you should resume farming Juratotus. The armor pieces to look at here are the Juria Helm Beta Plus and the Juria Greaves Alpha Plus and Beta Plus. It kind of depends on your decoration and other gear options. You should pair the Juratotus Greaves with the Kestodon Guards to max out focus. Again, both the Alpha Plus and Beta Plus versions have their pluses and minuses. You can mix and match the Kestodon Guards and Juria Greaves Alpha and Beta versions to try out some different socket options. Pink Rathian has a few extra pieces to consider. The Wrathheart Male Beta Plus is a very strong general purpose chest with Tool Specialist level 2 and a lot of socket options. The Rathian and Pink Rathian set bonuses provide poison duration up when you have at least 2 pieces equipped. Since the Datura Hellspine is a strong option, picking up 2 pieces of Pink Rathian's gear is a reasonable choice. You can consider the Wrathheart Braces Alpha Plus, the Wrathheart Coil Beta Plus, and the Wrathheart Greaves Beta Plus. An earplug set in Master Rank is much more feasible than in low or high rank. You can hunt Beatotus for a few earplug options. The Bio Helm Alpha Plus, the Bio Coil Alpha or Beta Plus, and Bio Greaves Beta Plus are your best pickups here. You can also consider a few pieces of the High Metal set for additional earplug options. You'll need to mine in the Coral Highlands for Bathosite ore. The High Metal Helm Alpha and Beta Plus, and the High Metal Male Alpha and Beta Plus have additional earplug options. You'll have to do some kind of ugly mixing to incorporate Earplugs 5. This is partially why the Earplugs Charm 3 is so powerful, as you can simply use the Earplugs Charm 3 and the Bio Greaves Beta Plus, Bio Coil Alpha Plus, or the High Metal Helm Alpha Plus to rather painlessly incorporate level 5 earplugs. Now it's time to get back on track with the main story. Nightshade Paolumu is up next in the quest, No Time for Naps. This subspecies gimmick is sleep, making it a very obnoxious fight. You can bring tons of energy drinks to stay awake, or you can make yourself immune to sleep. The easiest way is to build the Sleep Charm 3. You can do this by farming low and high rank Rataban and then high rank Uragan for the final upgrade. Then you can just swap your currently equipped charm out for the Sleep Charm 3 and be immune to the sleep status. You may lose some useful skills, but sleep immunity is very strong in this fight. The other alternative is to socket 3 Pep Jewel 1s into your inventory provided that you have them. Nightshade Paolumu is basically just a regular Paolumu when you fight it with level 3 sleep resistance, so it's not a big deal. The next assignment is another subspecies. This time it's Coral Pukei-Pukei. You won't have to worry about poison anymore, instead it uses water attacks. Go ahead and hunt it here, but watch out for its spinning water attack. It's pretty deadly. Afterwards, you'll be called back to Celiana. Say goodbye to your superior Sirius handler and accept the quest Blizzard Blitz to hunt Barioth. Follow the trail and kill this Barioth. Unfortunately, the handler was not actually killed by Barioth, and she'll resume her duties of stuffing her face at the canteen and generally being worthless once you've bested Barioth. Monster Slog Bones are first available after Barioth. These gate off a lot of weapon upgrades. Monster Slog Bones are available as rewards from many Master Rank 3-star monsters such as Barioth, Nargacuga, Glavenus, Tigrex, and Brachydios. Once you have enough Monster Slog Bones, you'll want to prioritize upgrading your Datura Hellspine to the second and final tier. This requires 3 monster slog bones. You may also have to hunt additional Pukei-Pukei and Rathian in master rank. This is a very strong upgrade. If you have at least 1 point of handicraft, this weapon will hit purple sharpness. Barioth's offerings are lackluster for greatsword, but the set bonus of Punishing Draw is a very appealing option. The Barioth Folds Beta Plus and the Barioth Greaves Beta Plus are your best options for quick sheath to unlock this set bonus. Unfortunately, it is a heavy commitment and likely not worth the time or effort to craft. I would personally forego Punishing Draw here and instead focus on some other options. But if you want Punishing Draw, you should consider 2 pieces of Barioth's set. Return to Astera and speak to the commander. You'll be given the Warming Jewel. This isn't overly useful as you can just chug a hot drink, but if you have an empty socket that needs filling and you're in Hoarfrost Reach often, feel free to socket it in. I'm not your dad. Afterwards, you'll be tasked with another investigation. Head to the Ancient Forest and follow the Handler. You'll encounter a Nargacuga and unlock the next assigned quests of Ever-Present Shadow to hunt Nargacuga and the Scorching Blade to hunt Glavenus. You can complete these quests in whatever order that you choose. Nargacuga and Glavenus both have strong set options for many weapon types. Nargacuga's set bonus is True Razor Sharp and it's great on every weapon. Unfortunately, you give up a lot of desirable greatsword skills to incorporate it. Personally, I think it's too much of an investment without enough payoff at this point. Glavenus' offerings are much stronger for greatswords, so you should prioritize hunting it first. Glavenus' set bonus is Maximum Might Secret, which is very lackluster. Maximum Might was adjusted, and unfortunately it's just not very good anymore. But if you have level 5 Maximum Might from Maximum Might Secret, it does behave as it did pre-nerf. That's a tall order to incorporate though, unless you have a lot of Maximum Might decorations. You can pick up this set bonus because the Glavenus Helm Alpha Plus and Glavenus Braces Beta Plus are strong offerings for maxing out Focus. The Glavenus Helm Alpha Plus is a good option for level 2 Focus and a stack of Handicraft. This Handicraft will push you into Purple Sharpness when using the Datura Hellspine too, so that's a nice bonus. You can consider incorporating a 3rd piece of Glavenus' gear here if you want to get Maximum Might Secret. Again, this does kind of require you to have a lot of Maximum Might decorations, but it's something to consider. As alternatives, you can look at the Rathalos Mail Beta Plus for Weakness Exploit, just like in high rank. You can also stick with the Kestodon Guards Beta Plus over the Glavenus Braces Beta Plus if you aren't overly concerned about armor. These just have superior socket options and Maximum Might is kind of lackluster unless you're going all in for level 5. Level 5 Maximum Might does require 3 pieces of Glavenus' gear however, and you likely need some decorations. After you're done with Glavenus, test out your new gear on Nargacuga and move on to the next set of assigned quests. You'll have to hunt Tigrex and Brachydios next in whatever order you choose. Tigrex's set is quite good as a general purpose hunting set. It has level 5 earplugs making you immune to monster roars. The set bonus is Free Meal Secret, which ups the activation chance to 75%. This can be very strong when using rare consumables and it makes the set very decent. If you're using earplugs, you want to reevaluate your set here using pieces of Tigrex's gear. Notably, the Tigrex Helm Alpha or Beta Plus, the Tigrex Mail Beta Plus, and the Tigrex Tacets Beta Plus. These are generally more socket efficient than the previous earplug offerings, so you can make some adjustments. If you're using an earplug set, go ahead and adjust your set after Tigrex. Then hunt Brachydios before moving on to your next set of assigned quests. Throughout Master Rank, you'll be given optional quests from the Feline Attendant in your room. These reward room decorations as well as unique charms which cannot be crafted. These quests may not be available immediately, but continue to check with your Feline Attendant periodically inside your room. You have to complete all of these quests in order. After beating Tigrex, you should talk to the Feline Attendant in your room and you should be given an optional quest called the Perfect Room Stone to capture a Tigrex. Once you've completed this quest, you should return to the Feline Attendant and you'll be awarded with room decorations and the Adamantine Charm. This provides non-elemental boost and Bludgeoner, making it a reasonable pickup when using raw weapons. This charm is not overly useful if you already have a non-elemental boost decoration as a result. You'll have to complete the quest regardless as it's part of a quest chain, so make sure that you do it. After taking out both of those big boy bruisers, your next assignment is to take on Velkhana in the Elder's Recess. This is a very basic fight, and it's just a taste of what's to come in the true fight later on. Once you've handled armorless Velkhana, return to Astera, watch the cutscenes, and then head off in another expedition to Hoarfrost Reach. Thankfully, this is an expedition mode because this is one of the worst fights in the game. Follow the handler around until you encounter Shrieking Legiana. Do your best to hold on to your sanity as it flies around for 90% of the fight, and then immediately jumps back up into the air once you've finally grounded it. Bring dung pods as well. A regular Legiana has a nasty habit of interrupting your fun. Back on track to the main story, tackle the next assigned quest, the Thunderous Troublemaker, to hunt Fulgur Anjanath. Then return to Celiana to talk with everyone to get the next set of assignments. Start by tackling Acidic Glavenus in the assigned quest, the Disintegrating Blade in the Rotten Vale. Acidic Glavenus is a very strong gear-dependent greatsword with the Acid Shredder too. This is one of the best greatswords in the game, but it requires you to have access to Handicraft at level 5, and either Protective Polish or Master's Touch to hold on to that tiny bit of purple sharpness that you do get. Acidic Glavenus has several strong handicraft options to push you up to level 5 with the Mail, Coil, and Greaves, but it's not worth investing in just yet. You should probably just stick it out and instead use your less gear-dependent greatsword until you reach the endgame. Then you can come back to get the Acid Shredder 2 once you're fully geared out. Next up in the Feline Attendant's room quest is the Perfect Room Light Iron to capture Acidic Glavenus. Once you've completed this quest, return to the Feline Attendant and you'll be awarded with more room decorations and the Razor Sharp Charm. This is arguably the best charm in the game for most weapon types, as Razor Sharp is just that strong of a skill. Running a Razor Sharp charm is never a bad idea, so picking this up as soon as possible is recommended. If you're using Nargacuga's 3-piece set for true Razor Sharp, you can make adjustments to your set and use this charm instead. Next up is Ebony Odogaron in the assigned quest, Bad Friends, Great Enemies. Make sure to bring Null Berries if you're using an elemental or status weapon. Dragon Blight removes your ability to inflict elemental and status damage. After hunting Ebony Odogaron in your assigned quest, you should talk to your Feline Attendant. If this optional quest doesn't show up, you may have to hunt a standard Odogaron in Master Rank as well. Keep that in mind. The next quest from the Feline Attendant is to hunt both an Odogaron and Ebony Odogaron for the Perfect Room Dark Iron. The reward for completing this quest is the Sealer's Charm, which provides Elder Seal boost and Adrenaline. You likely won't get much use out of this charm, but complete the quest regardless for the sake of progress and completeness. Now you'll have to do the set piece to defend Celiana from Velkhana in the assigned quest, the Defense of Celiana. This is followed immediately by facing off against Velkhana for real in the assigned quest, the Iceborne Wyvern. Velkhana is the flagship monster of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and as such it has strong offerings. Some very strong offerings for Greatsword, in fact. I really hope you enjoy that Velkhana hunt. You'll be doing it a lot. Velkhana's Icewing is a nice greatsword that hits purple sharpness as long as you have at least one handicraft. It also comes with a valuable level 4 decoration slot. You should consider this one of the preferred greatswords provided you have access to sharpness management skills like Protective Polish or Master's Touch at endgame. Velkhana's armor set is a greatsword user's dream set. The 2-piece set bonus of critical element is okay if you happen to have some elemental damage on your greatsword, but the real beauty is the 4-piece set bonus of Frostcraft. Frostcraft fills a meter that gives you bonus damage while you're sheathed, and then as you attack, you deal bonus damage and that meter depletes. Once you sheath again, the meter fills up again. This has amazing synergy with the greatsword playstyle. You will want to incorporate 4 pieces of Velkhana's set into your build. You should aim for the Rimeguard Helm Beta Plus, the Rimeguard Vambraces Beta Plus, the Rimeguard Coil Beta Plus, and Rimeguard Greaves Beta Plus. Realistically, you should build the full Rimeguard Beta set, but those 4 pieces are the priority. You can kind of skip out on the chest. This is strongly recommended for you to farm right now. You can customize this set as you see fit, and it will be one of your preferred endgame sets. After beating Velkhana and other Elder Dragons in Master Rank, you'll gain access to Pure Dragon Blood. This will unlock the Damascus Armor set. The Damascus Mail Beta Plus and Damascus Coil Beta Plus are amazing pieces. They provide level 3 focus and a lot of socket options, making them extremely versatile pieces for a lot of weapon types. Strongly consider building the Damascus Mail Beta Plus and Damascus Coil Beta Plus once you have the required materials. After besting Velkhana, you'll be tasked with another expedition. This time you'll be going to the Elder's Recess and you'll have to hunt a literally seething Bazeljuice. Seething Bazeljuice's armor set is noteworthy as it has very easy access to earplugs if you have at least one earplug Jewel 3. You can forge the Pride Helm Beta Plus and the Pride Greaves Alpha Plus. Then simply socket the earplug Jewel 3 into the Pride Greaves Alpha Plus, and you have a very convenient 2-piece level 5 earplugs. You'll also get Guts from the 2-piece set bonus, which is actually pretty nice. Master Rank's difficulty makes Guts significantly more valuable than it was in high rank. If you're using a weapon that has a shield, earplugs isn't overly valuable as you can block roars, but you can consider this set regardless. After hunting Seething Bazeljuice and completing all the previous Feline Attendant quests, you should get a new quest called The Perfect Room Silver to capture Seething Bazeljuice. After you've completed the quest, return to the Feline Attendant and accept your reward of new room decorations and the Gutsy Charm. This charm, as the name implies, provides guts. Guts is usually best obtained by running 2-piece Bazeljuice for earplugs. This is an option if you find yourself carting a lot, but you're likely better off just running something like a Divine Blessing Charm or a significantly more defensive-oriented set. Do this quest for the sake of completion rather than the rewards. Bazeljuice's Pride Vambrace's Alpha have level 1 earplugs and level 2 critical draw, making them a nice pickup. This is convenient if you lack an earplug Jewel 3. You can combine these 3 pieces of Bazeljuice's set with the Damascus Mail and Coil for easy access to earplugs, guts, level 3 focus, and level 2 critical draw with some decent socket options. You'll also have a freed up charm to do with as you please. This is a pretty reasonable alternative to Velkhana's Frostcraft set. After you've quelled the boundless rage of Seething Bazeljuice, you'll have to gather additional Elder Dragon tracks in various areas. The first is for Black Veil Valhazak. Valhazak and Black Veil Valhazak are made significantly easier by having level 3 Effluvia resistance. If you don't have access to 3 Miasma Jewel 1s, you can return to high rank and hunt multiple Valhazak to forge the Miasma Charm and upgrade it to level 2 immediately. Then you can upgrade the Miasma Charm to level 3 by hunting Xeno'jiiva and using additional endgame materials. I would strongly recommend doing this as it makes Black Veil Valhazak much more tolerable to hunt. Spamming null berries will work in a pinch, but you can avoid a lot of unnecessary risks with level 3 Effluvia resistance. You'll never get the max HP down effect. Once you're finished building the Miasma Charm, continue hunting monsters or running around in expedition mode until you have enough research to unlock the next assigned quest. When you're done, accept Under the Veil of Death and hunt Black Veil Valhazak in the Ancient Forest. Unfortunately, you'll have to repeat that same process again. You'll be forced to run around hunting monsters in expedition mode, gathering tracks, or running optional quests until you max out your research level for the next Elder Dragon. Once you do, you'll gain access to the next assigned quest, A Light from the Abyss, to hunt a new Elder Dragon, Namiel. Once you've beaten Namiel, it's time for the finale of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Talk to the field team leader and accept the airship ride to Origin Isle. You'll encounter Ruiner Nergigante here, and you'll be forced to put it down. Afterwards, you'll immediately have to hunt Shara Ishvalda. Come prepared with a Farcaster so you can leave the arena and restock on items if you need to, or simply return from the quest and then re-accept the new assignment. Shara Ishvalda's gear options are reasonable raw weapons that require handicraft to reach purple sharpness. If you're using a weapon type that favors raw damage, you may want to consider building Shara Ishvalda's weapons. Most of these, unfortunately, are outclassed by other options in pure raw builds with handicraft. You should consider these vanity items more than anything. Shara Ishvalda's set is a nice vanity item, but it's not overly useful for any individual weapon type. It is noteworthy because the 5-piece set bonus is true Gaia's Veil. This turns any mantle you have equipped into the equivalent of a rock steady mantle. There are stronger offerings across the board for every weapon type, but you can forge the Shara Ishvalda set at your discretion. You should definitely build the Palico gear. The limiting factor in all of Shara Ishvalda's equipment are tender plates and gems. This means you'll have an abundance of boulder plates and tender scales waiting for a single gem or tender plate to show up. You should build the Feline Ishvalda Crown Alpha Plus and Feline Ishvalda Raiment Alpha Plus so your Palico can reach spiritual enlightenment. It should also be the final set of Palico gear you'll ever need to build because of its high defensive value. If you are using Velkhana's Ice Wing, you should definitely use your Shara Ishvalda materials to upgrade it into a winged Seraphit. Look out for the rotating quest, Faraway Lorelei, to farm Shara Ishvalda whenever it's available. Upgrade your Ice Wing into the winged Seraphit as soon as you have enough materials. After the hunt, you'll have completed the main story of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and you'll get the final series of cutscenes. Enjoy the credits. Once you regain control, you'll be called over by the field team leader. You'll head off to the Guiding Lands. The Guiding Lands are unique in that they provide materials to allow you to augment your fully upgraded weapons, further increasing their power. Monsters in the Guiding Lands will also drop unique materials used for augmenting your weapons. You'll want to spend a lot of time here hunting whatever you come across for augment materials and to level up the various areas. Once you reach high enough levels, tempered variants of monsters will drop even stronger versions of these augment materials. Several of the endgame monsters are also not available via optional quest, and to hunt them you'll need to level up the areas in the Guiding Lands to maximum and hope that they appear. Once they do, you can capture them to get an arena quest. You can also hope to get some investigations for them to be able to craft their unique weapons and armor. Anytime in post-game you can hunt Master Rank Teostra to build its set. This is a strong offering for sharpness management at endgame because of the 3-piece set bonus of Master's Touch. Master's Touch prevents your weapon from losing sharpness when you land a critical hit. This is best tied with level 7 Critical Eye and level 3 Weakness Exploit with naturally high affinity on weapons, or weapons with affinity augments. You can potentially have infinite purple or white sharpness when using Master's Touch and 100% or near 100% affinity on weak points. The best pieces of Teostra set to build are the Kaiser Crown Beta Plus, the Kaiser Vambraces Beta Plus, and the Kaiser Coil Beta Plus. These pieces have some potentially wasted itemization but have strong socket options, and Master's Touch is a very powerful set bonus. Personally, I don't like committing to Master's Touch. I prefer more well-rounded sets, and I have a Sharp Jewel 2 for Protective Polish, which usually has my bases covered in the sharpness department. You likely do not have a Sharp Jewel 2, so you should consider this set. Throughout your endgame hunts, you'll increase your Master rank. Eventually, you'll hit a soft cap and have to complete a limit-breaking quest. The first appears at Master rank 49 with Sleep Now in the Fire, where you'll have to hunt a Tempered Rathian and Tempered Nightshade Paolumu. The second is at Master rank 69 with Big Burly Bash. You'll have to hunt a Tempered Brachydios and a Tempered Glavenus. The next limit break happens at Master rank 99. You'll have to face off against the true version of Ruiner Nergigante in To the Very Ends with You. Once you complete this quest, your Master rank will be uncapped and you'll be able to hunt additional Ruiner Nergigante to build its weapons and armor if you'd like. For most weapon types that don't care about high elemental damage, the Ruiner Nergigante weapons are very strong options. They all have maximum white sharpness and high raw damage with a small amount of dragon element with neutral affinity. This makes them very versatile weapons as there's no need to run Handicraft, Razor Sharp, Master's Touch, Protective Polish, or even Speed Sharpening. This opens up your armor options significantly and allows for more quality of life and defensive skills while maintaining very high attack power. The Ruiner Nergigante weapons will still benefit from offensive skills, but you won't be tied to them like you are with other weapons. The only real downside to them is weak socket options and requiring Master rank 100 before they become available. That's a tall order. To build these, you'll have to start all the way back at the beginning of the ore tree, upgrade your starting ore weapons 6 times, and then branch down into the Nergigante tree. Here you'll have to use Nergigante materials from high rank and Xeno'jiiva materials to upgrade to the final high rank tier. Then you can use Ruiner Nergigante materials to upgrade to the Master rank version. These are all great general purpose weapons. If you ever skipped out on low and high rank optional quests, you should definitely go back and complete them all. You'll get access to the remaining specialized tools and Palico gadgets you may have missed out on. Then you should complete the remaining optional quests in Master rank to get the quest to upgrade these new tools. If you want to farm rare decorations such as Capacity Boost, Guard Up, Mighty Bow, and Protective Polish, it is actually a reasonable option to do it in high rank. You can go back to high rank and complete Tempered Elder Dragon investigations. It's actually very easy to hunt Tempered Elder Dragons using maxed out Master Rank gear, and it will be significantly faster than farming Master Rank Tempered Elder Dragons for the same chances at these rare decorations. I got my Sharp Jewel 2, which provides Protective Polish, after clearing out my Tempered Teostra investigations on a whim well after I had completed Master Rank. Farming decorations this way is an option for you to explore in your never-ending quest for the God decoration that you simply don't have, but you know, your friend happens to have 2 of them. After progressing through the endgame for a while, you'll get some quests from the Admiral. You'll gain access to new areas and monsters in the Guiding Lands. These include Rajang and the Volcano area, and eventually you'll gain access to the Hoarfrost Reach area. This comes with its own little quest line where you'll have to hunt a Zinogre subspecies known as Stygian Zinogre. This is a dragon element Zinogre, and as such, it inflicts Dragon Blight. If you're using elemental or status weapons, bring Nullberries or consider bringing level 3 Blight Resistance or the Dragon-proof Mantle. After hunting Stygian Zinogre, you'll get cutscenes and find out about Safi'jiiva. Safi'jiiva is the true endgame goal of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. It's a siege event similar to Kulve Taroth. It's only available for a limited time and is best done online with a party. Safi'jiiva's weapons are interesting as they have a lot of customization options. You can insert skills into the weapons, making them extremely strong offerings. Lackluster sets that have decent set bonuses like Zora Magdaros' Artillery Secret can be placed onto Safi'jiiva's weapons, making them significantly more powerful. Most set bonuses are available in this way, but it will require grinding a lot of Safi'jiiva to fully trick out the weapon the way you want to. Safi'jiiva's armor is in a similar situation where it's quite good for very specific weapon types. Dragon Vein Awakening and True Dragon Vein Awakening make you take damage while you attack, but if you continually attack a monster, you will recover health. This has synergy with the skill Latent Power, as it requires you to take a lot of damage in a very short time frame, or be fighting a monster for a long period of time for it to trigger. The self-damage caused by Dragon Vein Awakening and True Dragon Vein Awakening can make triggering Latent Power much more consistent, which makes it a lot more useful. As Safi'jiiva is a limited time event and not always available, this guide won't go into details regarding the weapons and armor. Just know in your heart of hearts that if Safi'jiiva is available, it's likely your best option for progressing your weapons, and the armor set is a solid choice to build. At endgame, you'll only be using a handful of greatswords because of its strong favoring of raw damage over elemental damage. The most versatile greatsword is Ruiner Nergigante's Ruinous Atrocity. The very high raw damage and maximum white sharpness means you don't need to worry about any sharpness skills like Protective Polish, Master's Touch, or Handicraft. This is your best bet as a catch-all, general-purpose hunting greatsword. For a raw greatsword that requires a handicraft setup, you realistically have 2 options. You can use Acidic Glavenus' Acid Shredder 2, or Shara Ishvalda's Immovable Dharma. The Acid Shredder 2 is a stronger option with its level 4 socket. This weapon requires Protective Polish or Master's Touch, as even with level 5 Handicraft, its sharpness is just pathetic. However, if you can hang on to that purple sharpness for your entire hunt, it is a beastly greatsword. This is best tied with a non-elemental boost decoration, further increasing its already massive attack power. Now those 2 should really have you covered. Elemental Greatsword is not nearly as strong as going for maximum raw damage. The Ruinous Atrocity is an exception, because it's good despite having elemental damage. I don't really advocate for many of these sets, but if you want the best elemental greatswords, here is a list for the sake of completion and a bit of a formality. You should probably stick with the Ruinous Atrocity or Acid Shredder 2 instead. For an ice greatsword, Velkhana's Winged Seraphit is a great option. It hits purple sharpness with a single point of handicraft, and if you have Protective Polish or Master's Touch, you can hold on to it very easily. It has reasonably high raw damage and a level 4 socket for some nice skill options. This is also just a strong contender as a general purpose greatsword as well. For a fire greatsword, Silver Rathalos' Rathalos Gleam Sword is your best bet. It has high raw damage, a natural 25% affinity, and a level 2 socket. This is a reasonable greatsword to consider, but does require Silver Rathalos materials, making it a pain to build. Not to mention it doesn't have a jumping off point, which means you have to start all the way back at the ore tree. Yikes. For Dragon, Black Veil Valhazak's Dawn Monstro is a reasonable pickup. The Dawn has okay raw and white sharpness, but notably 2 level 2 decoration slots. For water, you only have one option. This is the Laguna Golem 2. This is a very standard greatsword, and it's not really worth looking at. Finally, Lunestra's Soulfire Edge Sticks is a decent general-purpose hunting option, as well as having some blast for fun explosions. The raw is on the low end, but it has 15% affinity, some blast element, and innate razor sharp, meaning its white sharpness will last you a very long time. It also has 2 level 3 decoration slots, making it a decent way to incorporate high-value skills like earplugs relatively easily.